What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is going to be your Queen Sugar review, season 3, episode 12. Now, the season finale is next week, which is good because the season finale is next week, and then the week after that, we get right on in the Greenleaf, and y'all know I love me some Greenleaf. Well, y'all don't know, do y'all? I love me some Greenleaf too. Well, so we rolling. We're gonna roll from one right into the other. So this episode picks up. We see Mr. Prosper talking to. We finally see him talking to his kids. He's talking to his daughter, and he's telling her. I guess she's expressing some, saying, "Should I come down there?" And he said, "Oh no, no, I should be back in my house soon." And of course, Charlie is listening, like, "You ain't gonna be back in your house soon." Like that ain't about to happen. But she don't say nothing, she just let Mr. Prosper talk, whatever. So they get off the phone and she said, she said, "Oh, how's everything going?" He said, "Oh, everything's good, it's good." He said, she's got a lot going on at work, keeping her busy. He said, "Yeah, we getting ready for this." He said, "I'm going to head over to, that Donna, I can't never remember the name of. I need to write it down. I can't never remember the name of that Donna. High Yella. I remember, y'all. The High Yella to meet with the farmers." He said, "Matter of fact, the parish meeting is tomorrow night, and we want you, because the vote is in 2 days." He said the meeting is tomorrow night, or was it that same night? Anyway, he said the farmers decided that we want you to speak for us, and Charlie is like, "No, I don't think that's a good idea." And he's like, "Why not?" He said, "You basically given us all of our talking points, and you're very respected in the community. You own, well, he didn't say you own Queen Sugar, but I'm sure, like, you own the big old mill. Like, your voice would hold a lot more weight than the farmers." And then she goes on and she tells him, she's really honest with him, and she tells him, she says, "Look, I can't do it. I sold the mill." He was like, "What?" He said, "Look," she was like, "Look, and I know that they weren't gonna stop coming for y'all. So I sold the mill in order to leverage for the farmers. Because remember, she got that set rate. She got all that stuff in place and she did do that for the farmers. She did. I mean, she also had she was trying to get in so that she could destroy them from the inside. But she did get some stuff for the farmers in that little deal. But of course, Mr. Prosper was like, "Ain't nobody gonna see it that way." So the cat's out the bag, there's that. But I'm gonna say this, and Charlie said it, but I think Charlie needs to remind them a little bit more. Y'all ran at the first sign of trouble, and y'all left me hanging. I did everything last year, opened up that mill, gave y'all good rates, told y'all I had y'all back, and the first sign of trouble, y'all left me hanging. Even when we told y'all there was nothing going on, even when I came and knocked on y'all's door to assure you everything was okay, y'all still went and took y'all sugar somewhere else. So, don't y'all can't put all that blame on Charlie. But anyway, I'm getting off on a side note. So then we see Darla picking up Blue from Aunt Vi's house. Oh, the interview that Aunt Vi did is on the news, and of course she's getting 1,000 orders. Everybody wants some of her pies now, so she's busy, and she got the girls. She need the girls to come over to help her out. It's like an all hands on deck type situation. And so Ralph Angel's over at Vi house, and so Darla's picking Blue up from Vi house, and they have a little moment, where they're talking and everything, and they're getting Blue together. And he's like, "So is your mother home? Your mother still at the house?" And she said, "No, my mother went back to D.C. and I told her, me and you're going to handle it. Like, I don't want her in it anymore." So you could see Ralph Angel sort of have a little sigh of relief, and, they had like a little moment. I think the back door might have cracked open a little bit in this episode, but we'll get there. So next thing you know, Charlie is at Aunt Vi's house, and she's on the phone with old boy, with her little friend, telling him, that things, that was she canceling on him or something, but letting him know that, it was all hands on deck, that she was at her aunt's house trying to help her. Lord, I thought I turned my phone off. That it was an all hands on deck situation. So Charlie and Nova ain't really talking. They doing that real quiet, being polite to each other type situation. And then Vi's like, "What's going on with y'all? What's up? Because Charlie said something about her needing a plus one for the wedding because they were doing the seating arrangements. And and Vi was like, "Oh, really? Like, oh, you got somebody you bring into the wedding?" She said, "What about you, Nova? What about that mystery man you seeing?" And she said, "No, it's over." And Charlie was kind of like, like whatever. And that's when it all came out. Vi was like, "What's going on with y'all? Like I done picked up on something the last couple of weeks. What's up with y'all?" And Nova comes right out and says, she said, "Look, I was seeing Remy, but it's over now." And Aunt Vi was like, "What in the world is wrong with you? Like, why?" Like, she said, "Look, I thought it was real. I would have never went there if it was just a fluke." And she said, "No, no, no. That's not the point. It doesn't matter whether you thought it was real or not. You should have, like, that's an unwritten rule. Like, you should know that you don't go after your sister's exes." And then she gonna turn to Charlie and say, "And you all right with this? You all right with her dating your sloppy seconds?" Oh, it was Vi gave it to both of them. Vi said, "So," she said, "First your father and then this." She said, "I don't know what's going on with you." She said, "But you really need to get it together." And of course, she was like, Nova was like, "Haven't you ever done anything that you're ashamed of? Have you ever done anything that you're not proud of?" And, Vi was like, "That ain't about me. Like, don't bring this about me. This is about you and what you did." And she told them, "Y'all need to figure this out. Y'all need to get it together and figure it out." And she leaves them in the room to sort of, but of course they're not speaking to each other. So she goes back home and Prosper comes in and she says, she asked Prosper, "Well, how bad was it, And Prosper said, "It ain't good. They feel like you sold them out. They feel like you did them wrong or whatever." And that's when she said to Mr. Prosper, she said, they quit on me first. Like, they left me hanging first, and if that's how they feel, I don't know what to tell them. But, they left me hanging first, and I'm trying to help them out. I'm trying to find a way to save everybody. I was trying to get inside and work and take over. She was giving it to him. Micah hears this, and Micah hears her, and of course he feels some kind of way, but I think he saw things a little differently with his mom saying, "Look, this was my plan. It ain't quite working out the way I wanted to work out, but I had a plan. And I didn't just leave them hanging. I took care of them in the deal, and they left me first." So anyway, they go to the meeting, and of course, Charlie walks in and they mumbling, "How dare she? Oh, she got some nerve." And the farmer's looking at her crazy, and of course Remy looking at her with that self-righteous fucking look that he got. You don't have no reason to be looking at nobody like that. So, of course, Landry gonna come over to her and speak to her, knowing good and damn well that was already a sore subject that talking about something. "How you doing? I just thought I'd say hi." That bullshit. So, of course, the people that want to open up the jail, they're giving their little pitch and they talking. Nova shows up. Nova don't even sit with them. She sit in the back. She don't even sit with Charlie and with Ralph Angel. I thought that was kind of fucked up. But anyway, so he's giving his whole little speech about how it's going to bring more jobs and they're going to build malls and new housing and it's just going to bring life, to the parish and all these great things that's going to come to the parish. And Ralph Angel kept telling Charlie, say something. And she was like, "I ain't got nothing to say." Like, she was sitting there like, "I don't really have nothing to say." And finally, they read a little note from somebody from somewhere else they built the jail talking about how wonderful it was and how they got these great jobs. And Charlie jumps up and she starts talking. And, of course, the farmers are mumbling, talking about something. She got some nerve and, yeah, okay. But she lays them out. She talks about the statistics, about these jails and how much they pay, how they really don't pay nothing, how they're not competitive, how they and then how they use those bodies, the body count from the jail towards when it comes down for elections and to say they had population growth, but you counting people in jail, and those people don't even can't even vote. Like, you count that as population growth that these politicians can use and start getting into. They talking about gerrymandering and all of that, these districts and stuff. And so, one of the farmers, the black guy, he does get up and he sort of challenges Charlie, but Charlie got an answer for all of them, and she lays them out. She's like, "Look, She had her money. I mean, her statistics. She had her shit, and she made a really good, compelling case. Like she really did. I'm sorry. So he challenges her, talking about something. Well, you the one that sold us out anyway. You sold the mill, and Charlie was like, I did it for you. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. He was like, she said no. She said, I did it so I could leverage good, better rates for you so y'all could stay in business. She said, they weren't going to stop coming after us. So what I did was I made an agreement to save y'all so we could live to fight another day. She said, but this jail, that all of us would be out of business. And so kind of shut him up a little bit, made him look, a little. But by the time she got done, everybody was cheering her on and clapping and everything because she was making some really valid points. And he didn't have no answer. Like, he was looking real stupid by the time she got done because he ain't had no rebuttal for none of it. And, of course, you see Micah's looking at his mama, like, with a little bit of pride. Nova looking over at her like, okay, that's my sister. So everybody's sort of coming around. And by the time Charlie got done, they got it. They were clapping. The same people that was ready to hang her when she walked in the door was clapping for her when she got done. And so it was good. It was good. It was a good scene. So then we see Micah went and talked to one of the guys from the fire. And he was like, where's everybody? Because he said radio silence. He said, everybody's scattered. Everybody's just being quiet and not being around each other. We kind of keeping to ourselves until this whole thing blows over. He talking about until we leave for college. Like, we need to keep quiet until we leave for college. And Micah's like, well, that's messed up. Come to find out, Ant is home. He's out of juvie, but he's on house arrest until his court case comes up. And his lawyer is saying that he might get, I want to say he said 6 months. Did he say 6 months? 6 months or 2 months. But I thought that was pretty good. 6 months I thought was pretty good compared to for what they did. But that's because he's a juvenile. Because had he been an adult, they'd be looking at years. And so he's talking to him, and old boy tried to give it to Micah, talking about something, whatever, Micah. Like, he said you get to hide behind your pictures. Because they had a picture of the, I guess they're working on the yearbook or something. But they had a picture of the first night that he met them when they knelt for the national anthem. And he was like, see, this is where you are. While we were out there kneeling, you behind your camera. He said, you should have been out there with us. And he was like, Mike was like, see, that's not fair. Don't act like I haven't been with y'all and I haven't been down for y'all. Don't act like I wasn't there that night. And he said, yeah, but, if it were you, you wouldn't be in juvenile. You wouldn't be in the system. And Michael was like, okay, but that's not my fault. You know what I mean? Like, don't put it on me. And so he kind of gives it to Micah a little bit, but Micah holds his own. But he was trying to let Micah know, look, you, as much as you was trying to be down with us, you not the same as us. And that's true. I think Micah understands his privilege, which is the reason why he was even hanging with them to begin with, because he does understand his privilege and he wanted to do something, make a difference. Like he wanted to, but he sort of, giving it to him. Then we see Vi working on her pies. Vi has a really bad attack to the point where they end up having to take her to the hospital. She has a really bad attack. And she comes home from the hospital and she's telling them that basically she just had some inflammation in her lungs. She ain't telling them why her lungs, that it happened. She said, the doctors just told me I need some rest and he gave me some medicine or whatever. And so Hollywood was like, yeah, we ain't doing this no more. Hollywood said, your Aunt Vi called y'all here because she got something to tell you. And she sort of looked at Hollywood like, because I felt like Hollywood put her on the spot because I don't feel like she was getting ready to say all that. I think Hollywood made her say it. So she finally tells them about the lupus. And they were like, well, how long has this been going on? And she said, a couple of months back, I didn't say nothing because I didn't want y'all to worry about me and I don't want y'all to start, doting all over me and everything. And I got this. I'm good. I got this. And of course they pissed off like anybody else would be like, come on, Vi, like, you need to let us know what's going on. We'd be here for you. We know we'd help you out. Like, you need to let us know what's going on and let us help you. And then there's a really nice scene with her in Hollywood where he's, giving her a bath and she sort of leans into him. And I mean, symbolically, like, give me your strength. Like, I'm letting you help me. I'm going to let you, That's how I took it. But it was a really nice little moment where she kind of leaned into him and they sort of cried together, kind of thing. So then we see Darla with Blue, and he's learning how to ride a bike. And I get it. Been there and done that. When you learn how to ride a bike, it takes a lot of faith and trust when someone is teaching you how to ride a bike. You have to really trust the person that is helping you. And when you don't trust them, you can't do it. Because especially once the training wheels come off, you have to trust that that person is going to hold you up until you are ready. And you have to trust that they're going to be there when you fall. And Blue was telling her, don't let go, don't let go, don't let go. And she's like, I won't, I won't. And I remember when my dad did that to me. I was like, don't let go, don't let go, don't let go. And he said, I won't, I won't, I won't. Next thing I know, I was halfway down the street and didn't realize he wasn't behind me anymore. I ain't fallen until I looked back and realized he wasn't there. I was riding the bike by myself. But I trusted him, and he knew when to let go. He knew when I had it. And because Blue doesn't have that relationship with Darla, and because Darla doesn't have that relationship with Blue, it wasn't working. He kept falling, and then finally he just quit. He just walked off and told her she wasn't doing it right. And basically, you're not doing it like my dad. But see, I trust my dad. Probably Hollywood, Charlie, Vi, Nova, I said Nola, and even Micah. All of them could have done it. And Blue probably would not have reacted that way. But see, he don't know Darla like that, and Darla don't know him like that, and they don't have that trust yet. Anyway, so it ain't work out, and Blue, he walked his ass off. So the siblings are together talking about Vi being so stubborn and not telling them what's going on, and how they, just like Daddy, and that kind of thing. And, Ralph Angel said, I can't go through that again with Daddy. With him not letting nobody know what's going on until it's too late. And so they sort of talking. They sort of, you see the ice is sort of breaking a little bit between her and Nova. And Charlie's little boyfriend shows up. The nurse, the guy that, the guy she was talking to, he shows up to come and help. And she said, I didn't call you to come down here and help. He said, it's cool, I had time, what you need. So he's helping her with the pies and everything, and they have a cute little moment where they're kind of bantering. He like, I all I want is a lemon one. When we get done, can I get a lemon pie? And they're laughing or whatever, and it was a good little scene. And he invites her over for dinner, and she accepts. So their relationship is blossoming pretty good. They're blossoming pretty good. So then we get to the vote. No, before we get to the vote, Micah goes to visit Aunt. Now, his mama done told him not to go over there. He said he gonna go see Aunt. His mama done told him to stay the hell away from there. Micah talking about something, that's not fair that he has to go through this by himself, and we should be there with him. And his mother was like, look, I get all of that, but for right now, you need to stay the hell away from him. Y'all need to stay away from each other, more so to protect you than me trying to punish you. Like, I'm trying to make sure that you're good, that you're safe. So, but when he first get there, Aunt is kind of cold, got a little attitude or whatever. But then, Micah talks to him. He said, look, man, I've been trying to call you. He's like, yeah, whatever, And they get to talking a little bit. And I think Aunt realizes that Micah is sincere, that Micah really is, he not there to make sure he ain't snitching. He there because he really is concerned about him. And he said, this really isn't fair that you taking the blame for everybody. And Aunt was like, it's not, but that's just the way it is. Like, that's just the way it goes sometimes, and it is what it is. He was like, I'm good. And that's when we found out that his lawyer said he might get 6 months or something like that, which I still think, like I said, that's pretty damn good. He said, yeah, I'm going to miss this and I'm going to miss that. He said, but that's all right. When I come back, the girl's going to be all over me. They like a bad boy. So they kind of laugh. And like I said, I think at first he thought Micah's intentions were to make sure he wasn't snitching, but then when he realized that Michael was really there because he cared about him, then, they sort of had a good conversation. Now we get to the vote. So we see Charlie in the bathroom washing her hands, and one of the female farmers who sort of had like a little attitude, she came, they were in the bathroom together, that little moment you at the sink washing your hands, y'all kind of giving each other that side eye. And she looks at Charlie and she says, thank you. So, letting Charlie know, look, I get it, and I appreciate what you did, And then here come Sister Landry coming up in there and talking about the vote and which council member might vote which way and how they might still be able to salvage it. But Charlie looking at her like, bitch, if you don't get out my face. So we know that Landry got most of the council, parish council, in his pocket. But she was saying how there's one or two that might vote their way, that, he might not have got to everybody, and that's who they need to focus on. So we come down for the vote, and they go through the vote, and it comes down 3-2 in favor of the prison. So they lost. But what we see Micah on his computer that night Googling how to organize a rally. And so, he's taking heed to what what Nova told him about organizing and for a cause. Like, what is your outcome? What is your projected outcome? What is the cause? What is it that you're trying to do? And actually going through the steps of organizing. We also see where Charlie, everybody's devastated, but Charlie is just devastated. Nova comes over to Charlie and hugs her. And so you see that moment, where they're sort of reconciling. Because remember, they was beefing about her selling the plant and all that long before the whole Remy situation. And I think that was part of why Nova was so comfortable getting with Remy, because she was already kind of pissed off at her sister. But anyway, we see Prosper call his daughter and tell his daughter, might be time for you to come and get me, because he realizes he ain't going to get his house back. Because the whole time he was holding on that Charlie was going to help them, that Charlie was going to be able to save them and help save the house. So it was sad. They lost it, but I have hope that Micah is going to be able to do something great with his rally. I don't know if it'll change anything, but it just definitely shows that Micah is learning. He's not giving up on organizing or being active, but he is figuring out a different way of doing it. Last but not least, we see Darla and he's taking Blue back home, and she told Blue, she told Ralph Angel about Blue, quitting on the bike situation, and he calls him back out there. He said, Blue, get out here. He said, no, we don't do that. We don't quit. He said, get your helmet, put your helmet on. We're going to do this. He said, you're not going to quit. And you see them riding, and Blue says, well, can y'all hold it together? Can you do it together? So both of them are holding Blue, and Blue gets it. He starts riding his bike. Next thing you know, he riding all over the yard. Because once he trusted the process. He trusted that they were not going to let him go and that they were going to be there. And when he's riding the bike and he doesn't fall, they end up hugging. Him and Darla end up hugging. And you saw both of them kind of had that awkward, oh shit moment, like, oh shit. And they sort of pulled away. And Ralph Angel, next thing you know, they on the porch sipping lemonade, talking. And Ralph Angel talking about how he's getting ready to be off of parole, and how when he gets off parole, he wants to take Blue, he wants to take him on vacation. He said, I just want him to see something other than here. I want him to travel. And she said, maybe we should do 50-50. And he looks at her, and he sort of hesitates a little bit, but he said, yeah, let's do it. Let's work that out, 50-50. So they come to their own custody agreement, 50-50, which is where they started, where Darla started to begin with. And she said, well, she's going to take Blue. He said, I'm going to take him to Disney World. She said, Disney World or Disneyland? He said, both of them. I don't care. But they're having a good moment. And even, like I said, I feel like the back door got a little crack in it for the two of them. I feel like it a little bit. But even if not, they definitely are back on the road to co-parenting. They're definitely back on that road, So that was your episode. Like I said, next week is the season finale, and it looks like it's going to be pretty good. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this whole situation. Drop it in them comments. Peace.